We also have another amazing story here. Of course, we've reported about what's going on with Fukushima. Here we are 6 years after the initial event. Radiation levels are rising. They're sending these robots in to try to see what's been breached, what is leaking, and so forth. And now we've had a second robot break down in just 2 weeks as it's looking at the record high radiation levels. This is now the 7th robot to have broken down while investigating Fukushima's nuclear reactor. So understand that even though we have these DARPA projects, we say, oh, we're not really working on robots that we're going to use as autonomous killing machines against the general public. No, 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 no. We just want to have these robots so that we can go in and take care of disasters like we have at Fukushima. And yet the robots are dying from the radiation. A TEPCO spokeswoman told phys.org that they don't yet know whether it was radiation or debris that stopped the most recent robot. But this is the second robot in 2 weeks, the 7th robot since this happened 6 years ago. Last week, the one that died, it was radiation. The camera was fried by record high levels of radiation. So when I look at this, and we got these environmentalists who are telling us, and I've actually went to a fair where they were talking about solar power, because although I don't think that solar power is going to meet our needs or even come close to it in terms of the grid, I'm all for getting off of the grid. I'm all for decentralization of electrical power, just like I'm for decentralization of political power, because when you centralize electrical power production, you are centralizing political control of people as well. So I was looking for solar power to use in my home, and I was absolutely amazed to find a tent where these environmentalists, the so-called environmentalists, are just singing the praise of nuclear power. You've got to be kidding. You've got to be kidding me. I mean, this was post-Fukushima, of course. And I have to say that no matter how much carbon you've got in a plant, it isn't going to kill a robot. And I don't care if you're talking about carbon monoxide or you're talking about carbon dioxide, it's not going to kill a robot. Carbon dioxide is what we all breathe, and of course they want fewer of us. They don't realize that it's what plants need. We have that perfect symbiotic relationship that was created by God between plants and animals. They want to pretend doesn't exist. But when you look at nuclear power, you look at the issues of aging nuclear reactors, and of course after Fukushima, we had the former head of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission here in the United States say we need to shut down all of our nuclear power plants until we can redesign them more safely. He was the former head of the NRC. Because what do you do with the power plants once they've been in operation for a while? Just as it is destroying these robots, it creates problems for everything else in the plant itself. And the plant itself needs to be shut down, deconstructed, and stored just like the nuclear waste. And how long does all that need to be stored? And at what cost? You see, they don't ever put those costs in their calculations to determine what the fuel costs are. They don't calculate in the in-life storage of this nuclear fuel because there's no way that you can put a dollar figure on that. How are you going to keep this stuff safe and isolated for 1,000 years or whatever? Okay, you just can't. And of course, the spent fuel that was stored at Fukushima was a large part of what that problem was. So they're just kicking the nuclear can down the road. It's a very dangerous situation. Of course, as we're seeing these aging nuclear power plants in the United States that have been given in many cases like a 25-year lease for operation, once they get to the point where they've reached their end of life, they just say, well, never mind, we're just going to arbitrarily extend that for another bit of time.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and say, see, I told you so, that communist Chinese-style net censorship was coming to the web, because it's already here. It's being announced. The way you keep the internet open and free is you get involved more than ever. Go to Infowars.com/app. A new battleship in the fight. Infowars Live, available right now. We're looking for a crew to man it. You gonna sit down and play games and be a trendy? Or are you gonna be part of history? Don't sit by and let the internet and free speech be stolen from you. Take action.